When you think about the people who truly shape the world, the ones who make a mark so deep that generations feel their impact, you'll notice one thing they all have in common. They commit fully. They don't dabble. They don't test the waters. They dive in with every ounce of energy they've got. The truth is, we live in a world filled with half-hearted efforts, people trying things with one foot in and one foot out. But the people who win, the ones who rise, who build, who lead, they burn the boats. They give themselves no way back, and because of that, they find a way forward. Most people operate with an escape hatch mentality. They say they want success, they say they want greatness, but they keep the back door open. They hold on to safety nets, backup plans, second options, and every time things get hard, because they will, they start glancing back. They start questioning if they should have ever left the shore. They start flirting with the idea of turning around, and that's the reason they never break through. You can't conquer new territory if you're still emotionally tied to the old one. You can't become who you're meant to be if you're still clinging to the person you used to be. What does burn the boats really mean? It means making a decision so firm, so absolute, that every fiber of your being is aligned toward one outcome. It's not a motivational slogan, it's not a catchy phrase, it's a way of living. It's about cutting off the option to quit, cutting off the option to compromise. It's about stepping into your future with so much conviction that failure isn't even part of the vocabulary. It's about deciding that retreat is not in your DNA. When you have no backup plan, your mind enters a new level of resourcefulness. The human spirit is capable of impossible things when pushed to the edge. But most people never allow themselves to get to that edge. They stay in the middle, safe, predictable, comfortable, but greatness has never ever been born in comfort. Greatness is born in the fire. And fire requires fuel, and the greatest fuel you can pour on your life is absolute commitment. You see, real commitment means you're not waiting for conditions to be perfect. You're not looking for approval. You're not hoping everything lines up before you go all in. You're not halfway invested, seeing how it turns out before you decide whether it's worth it. No, commitment means you've made the decision before the results show up. You've decided in advance that you're willing to do whatever it takes, for as long as it takes until it's done. That's what separates those who talk from those who transform. The problem is, most people are more committed to their comfort than their calling, more committed to their fear than their future, and so they get stuck in the loop. Start, stop, excited, discouraged, driven, distracted. They start something new, get hit with resistance, and then look for a way out. The moment it gets hard, the moment results don't come fast enough, they question everything, and then they quit, not because they weren't capable, but because they never burned the boats. So let me ask you, what are your boats? What are the things you're still holding on to that give you a way out? Maybe it's a job you hate but keep around because it pays the bills. Maybe it's a belief that tells you you're not ready yet. Maybe it's a toxic relationship or the fear of what people will think. Maybe it's an identity you've clung to for years. The story that you're not good enough or smart enough, or that success is for other people. Whatever it is, it's got to go. You don't evolve when you stay tied to what's safe. You evolve when you make a decision to move forward and never look back. The question isn't, can I do this? It's, am I willing to eliminate every other option until this works? Because when you commit at that level, something miraculous happens. Your mind gets sharp. Your energy becomes magnetic. You stop asking small questions and start taking bold action. You stop needing reassurance and start creating results. And the universe responds to that kind of certainty. Life bends in the direction of the person who knows what they want and refuses to settle for anything less. There's a power that gets unleashed inside of you when quitting is no longer an option. When you say, this is happening, or I'll die trying, that's the moment you become unstoppable. That's the moment your doubts start shrinking, your courage starts growing, and your potential begins to explode. Because in that moment, you're no longer negotiating with fear. You're no longer playing games with your goals. You're all in. You think the world owes you clarity before you move? Wrong. Clarity is a reward for commitment. Most people wait for the path to be clear before they take the first step, but that's not how it works. You take the first step, you burn the boats, and then the path begins to appear. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step and destroy the exit sign. That's how leaders are made. That's how champions rise, not through perfect plans, but through powerful decisions. The challenge with society today is that we're conditioned to keep our options open. We celebrate flexibility. We praise those who have a lot of irons in the fire. But let me tell you something, focus is power. The more options you entertain, the more diluted your energy becomes. Success is not about doing more things. It's about doing the one thing that matters and doing it so well that you become a force of nature. And you can't do that if part of you is always wondering whether you should have picked something else. Burning the boats means silencing the noise. It means deciding that you're no longer available for mediocrity. It means you stop playing the victim. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for the right time, and instead you declare, now is my time, this is my moment, and I'm not going back. It's about stepping into your power with such intensity that the old you no longer has a place in your life. Let me tell you a secret. The people you admire, the ones who have built something massive, whether it's a business, a brand, a movement, or a masterpiece, they didn't have more talent than you. They didn't have more resources. What they had was a willingness to commit at a level most people never reach. They bet on themselves when no one else would. They kept going when the evidence didn't support them. And they stayed in the fight long after everyone else quit. Why? Because they burned the boats. When you commit fully, you stop trying to avoid pain and start using it. You stop trying to dodge fear and start dancing with it. You realize that discomfort is the price of admission for a meaningful life. You begin to welcome resistance because you know that every time you push through it, you become more, you get stronger, you get sharper. You get closer to the life you were born to live, and yes, it will be scary. Yes, there will be moments when you question yourself, but fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're on the edge of transformation. Most people feel fear and retreat, but the few, the warriors, the leaders, the visionaries, they feel fear and move forward anyway. They understand that fear is the compass. The direction you fear most is usually the one you need to go. The moment you burn the boats, you remove the decision-making fatigue. You remove the constant what-if conversation from your mind, and you free up all of that mental energy to execute, to build, to create, to focus. And in that focus, you find flow, and in flow, you find momentum. And momentum is where dreams take on a life of their own. If you want to live an uncommon life, you must take uncommon action. You must be willing to do what others won't so you can live how others can't. That means burning the boats. That means going beyond motivation and into identity. You don't just do the thing. You become the person who does the thing. You become the kind of person who doesn't give up, who doesn't turn back, who doesn't settle. You shift from trying to become to already being. Every great leap in life is preceded by a bold decision. Not a wish, not a hope, a decision that says, I will not live this way any longer. A decision that says, this is who I am now. A decision that says, it's done. And when you make that decision, really make it, at the soul level, the world begins to shift around you. You start attracting different people. You start seeing new possibilities, not because they weren't there before, but because you finally became the version of yourself who could see them. It's time to stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for the sign. Stop hoping things will get easier. Instead, become stronger. Build the mindset that nothing can shake. Burn the boats that keep you tethered to small thinking, to fear-based living, to average standards. Because once you do, you'll find out what you're really made of. You'll find the version of you that was buried under hesitation and doubt. And you'll realize that everything you've ever wanted has been waiting on the other side of your decision. There is a life that's meant for you, a life that's bold, rich, purposeful, passionate, but you can't get there by being interested. You get there by being committed fully, relentlessly, unapologetically. So light the match, watch the old boats burn, and walk forward into the fire, not because it's safe, but because that's where your power lies. So if you're still standing on the edge, wondering whether you should leap, stop wondering. Decide right now, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not when you feel ready. Burn the boats, cut off the escape, because the moment you do, you will unleash something fierce, something unstoppable inside you. That's the power of true commitment. It awakens the part of you that's been waiting to rise. You were not born to play small. You were not put here to tiptoe through life hoping to make it safely to death. You were born to lead, to build, to conquer, and the time to become who you truly are Please now, not when the fear goes away, not when everything is perfect, but now, burn the boats, commit fully, or don't start at all. Because the future doesn't belong to the hesitant, it belongs to the ones who decide.